They thought they could just walk into the Barclays Center and execute a routine dismantling. The New York Liberty came into this matchup boasting the most efficient offense in the history of the WNBA, an absolute juggernaut averaging 100 points per game across their first 4 contests. On paper, it was a mismatch. On the hardwood, it turned into an absolute street fight. The Indiana Fever didn't come to bow down to the standard hierarchy, and what unfolded was a masterclass in tension, tactical adjustments, and star-level resilience that pushed both franchises to their absolute limits. And the wildest part? This goes way deeper than anyone realizes. This wasn't just another regular season game on the calendar. This was a structural ideological battle between a looming dynasty in New York and a rising revolution spearheaded by Caitlin Clark in Indiana. Everyone expected the Liberty to run away with it early, utilizing their historic offensive spacing and veteran chemistry. But when the ball was tipped, the script was immediately thrown out the window. The game transformed from a standard basketball exhibition into a psychological chess match, where every single possession felt like life or death. To truly understand how this unfolded, you have to look at the opening minutes. Kelsey Mitchell set the tone immediately, coming off a screen with zero hesitation to bury a jumper that signaled Indiana's aggressive intent. But New York answered with sheer muscle. Jonquel Jones showed why she is a nightmare matchup, completely ignoring the defense of Mona Billings to go off the glass for 2. Then came Marine Johannes. You simply cannot help off her, and she proved it by draining back-to-back deep threes, reminding the entire league that her catch-and-shoot ability is completely lights out. You remember this detail. It becomes crucial later. Indiana did not fold when New York started flexing its championship muscle. Aaliyah Boston anchored the paint, using her immense frame to bury defenders and finish with pure muscle versus muscle efficiency. The patient execution from Caitlin Clark allowed the game to develop naturally, refusing to rush the offense even when facing intense defensive pressure. When the rookie Lexi Hall and veteran Damiris Dantas pushed the pace, it became clear that Indiana had discovered a vulnerability in New York's transition defense. And this is where the story takes a turn nobody expected. The Indiana bench, which many critics claimed lacked the depth to compete with the elite units in the league, completely flipped the script. Temi Fagbenle and Katie Lou Samuelson sparked a massive run. Fagbenle crashed the offensive boards with relentless energy, punishing New York for failing to box out. Suddenly, the Fever started hitting from deep. Mona Billings knocked down a massive three-pointer, followed by a straight cash corner bucket from Natasha Howard that pushed the Indiana lead out to 12 points. Now here's the part that should make you angry if you're a fan of fundamental basketball. New York, a team celebrated for its beautiful ball movement and 5-player synergy, completely abandoned their identity. They stopped moving the ball. They started settling for contested, stagnant outside shots, without a single pass. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark was treating the court like her personal canvas, weaving through traffic and delivering a brilliant buzzer-beating three-pointer to close the half, followed by a spectacular platter pass to Aaliyah Boston right at the rim to open the third quarter. But that was just the surface of what was happening here. The momentum shifted on a single whistle, and this is where it gets personal. Caitlin Clark picked up her 5th foul, forcing her to the bench for a massive portion of the second half. With their superstar playmaker sidelined, the Fever looked vulnerable. That is exactly when Breanna Stewart decided to remind the world why she is a future Hall of Famer. Stewart began putting on an absolute driving clinic, attacking the rim unimpeded and drawing contact at will to single-handedly erase the 12-point Indiana lead. Think about the sheer pressure of that moment. With Clark watching from the bench, Kelsey Mitchell had to put on the afterburners. Mitchell danced with the defense, using an elite behind-the-back handle to get to her spots, and finishing with professional-grade left-handed layups. But New York's veteran experience ultimately took over the floor. Jonquel Jones delivered a spectacular no-look pass to Stewart in transition, shifting the lead back to New York and showcasing the elite execution that defines championship contenders. Let's be real about what happened in those final 90 seconds. New York didn't win this game with their trademark three-point shooting. In fact, they recorded their fewest made three-pointers in a single game since 2022. Instead, they won it with pure grit, smart clock management, and the unstoppable force of Breanna Stewart, who turned in a 30-point masterpiece. The Liberty secured an 83-75 victory. But the real story is how close the Fever came to pulling off the impossible. Because here's what this all means going forward. The Indiana Fever proved they can go toe-to-toe with the absolute best in the world, even when their generational superstar is plagued by foul trouble. New York survived, but their historic offense was pushed to the brink of collapse by a young, hungry roster. The balance of power in this league is shifting far faster than the veterans want to admit. So you have to ask yourself, when these two teams meet again with a fully healthy, foul-free roster, will New York be able to survive the storm, or is Indiana ready to take the crown? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and let me know who you've got winning the next battle.